And joining me in the studio to x-ray the year under review is the Director of Special Duties and State Operations, National Orientation Agency, David Akoji. Compliments of the season and welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, viewers, and compliments of the season.
Okay, a lot happened in Nigeria this year. Some will say the good, the bad, and the ugly. Can you give us an insight of how Nigeria has fared in 2023?
Well, like you said, it has been a mixed bag, and depending on which side of the divide you are looking at it from, you might want to say that the cup is either half empty or half full. But I think what needs to be said is that 2023 was a trying year for us as a country. You know, beginning from the early period of 2023, when CBN introduced the Naira redesign policy, which was poorly implemented and led to a lot of hardship, you know, for Nigerians. Nigerians were unable to access their monies held in the banks, and then some had to purchase their money at very, very high cost from operators of point-of-sales places across the country. You know, and this left a sour taste in the minds and in the mouths of plenty people. But in line with the promises that the current administration made, as soon as it came into power, it eased the stress and the pressures created by the Naira redesign policy, reassuring citizens, you know, that the old currency would still be tenable and that people had no cause for worry. I'm beginning to look at it in retrospect from the point of view of the economy. You know, you would find that also beyond that, one of the early pronouncements that the president made at the point of being inaugurated was had to do with the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirits. Now, that removal had its gains and pains. You know, the gains was the fact that immediately that pronouncement released Nigeria's economy from the shackles of the subsidy and all the controversies surrounding the subsidy regime and the subsidy policy. And you will find that immediately Nigeria began to save money. You know, huge sums of money in trillions that ordinarily would have been paid out, you know, as subsidy, began to show up as savings. And in that way, the administration was able to support state governments to revive economies that had become moribund of several states across the country, you know, to establish an infrastructure fund, you know, to kickstart infrastructure works in various states, you know, across the country. And you also find that, again, in line with the economy, the president demonstrated understanding, you know, of the need to diversify the economy. And so you found that a minister was appointed and a ministry established for marine and the blue economy. You know, this is an area of our economy that had been neglected, more or less, for many years. And it's an area that holds significant potential. There are many countries that are leveraging on the economic opportunities that is provided by the marine and blue economy. So you can see that immediately the administration understood the fact that we could no longer continue to focus on this mono economy that crude offered, you know. So a lot is going on. There are policy initiatives that are being rolled out in that direction.
All right, can we look at security now in the country in the year under review? What's your assessment and what more needs to be done?
Okay, in terms of the security, immediately you find that the administration rejigged our security architecture. You know, it responded to the public outcry and immediately changed the leaders at the helms of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the police, you know, and all of these that form our security architecture. And the president himself went to the Northeast to visit with the troops and boost their morale, you know. And since he came, he has been motivating our security forces to up the ante in the fight against insecurity in various locations across the country. You know, we are pained by the mishap in Kaduna, but that also demonstrates to you the fact that there's been increased onslaught, you know, by our security forces on non-state actors that are causing security problems in different parts of the country. Recently, the military reported, as recent as yesterday, that they had eliminated over 6,000 terrorists, you know, and non-state actors that are causing problems across this country. And the president has been urging them to keep this going so that every part of this country can be secured.
All right, just before we go on a quick break, in terms of infrastructure, how well did Nigeria fare as a nation with the reviewed National Integrated Master Plan in view of current realities?
Well, you see, I said earlier that the current administration had set up an infrastructure fund. That's a demonstration, you know, of seriousness in tackling our infrastructure deficit. There's no way you can achieve significant improvements in the economy without tackling infrastructure deficit in terms of roads, in terms of transportation, you know, and all of that, you know. So it is in response to this that the administration has introduced that infrastructure fund and is carrying subnationals along in this direction and ensuring that they also benefit from the funds that are available and will be available to make sure that inter and intra-city roads especially are addressed. Thus far, the administration has been fixing bad roads across the country. And if you are in Abuja, Abuja speaks for itself. Okay. You know, Abuja has become a beehive of construction. You know, all the works that had earlier gone moribund are awakened. You know, significant ones would be the Apo Bridge, for instance. If you go there now, you see that road actually taking shape. You know.
Okay, David Akoji, let's just take a break now. I know you still have more information for us. So we'll take a break now, and we'll continue shortly.